Hello dear friends, welcome back to Easy Lessons. In this video we are going to discuss about array insertion. So what is the process of insertion? Insertion is a process of adding a new element to the array. That means we are having an existing array, and if we want to insert a new element, we can insert that particular element in any location. So mainly in an array we can insert in three different ways, like insertion from the beginning, insertion from the end, or insertion from the middle. That means if you want to insert an item in the beginning of an array, here look at the first figure. Here is an array A containing 4 elements, and the user want to insert an element 5 to the beginning of the array. So after insertion 5, the array becomes 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, etc. And insertion at the end is also possible. That is, if an array contains 4 elements and if the user wants to enter an element 5 at the end of the array, what becomes to the array? The array becomes 10, 20, 30, 40, 5. And in the same way, if the user want to insert an item in a particular location, that is, consider an array A containing 4 elements 10, 20, 30, 40, and if the user want to enter an item 5 to third position, so the array becomes 10, 20, 5, 30, 40. So insertion can be done in three different ways: beginning, end, and in a middle. And in this video we will discuss all types of insertion. So let us move on to the insertion at the beginning. Here there is an array, and we are going to insert an element to the beginning of an array. So the algorithm is to insert an item at the beginning of array A of n numbers. Here in this example we have taken n as 3. We are having 3 elements. Okay. And suppose the item we want to insert is 5. And here we starts I equal to n minus 1. That is, I equal to 2. That is this position. Repeat while 2 greater than or equal to 0. Not n. This is I greater than or equal to 0. So 2 greater than or equal to 0 condition is true. A of 2 plus 1, that is A of 3 equal to A of 2. That means the element at the second position will be moved on to the third position. And then I is decremented, so I becomes 1. Again condition is evaluated, 1 greater than or equal to 0. Condition is true. So 1 plus 1, that is A of 2 equal to A of 1. That is A of 2. This the element at the first position will be moved on to the second position. That is 20 will be moved on to the second position. Okay, then I gets decremented again. I becomes 1. No, I become 0. 0 greater than or equal to 0. Condition is again true. A of 0 plus 1, that is A of 1 equal to A of 0. So 0th element is moved on to the first position. So the array becomes like this. Again I decrements to minus 1, and minus 1 greater than or equal to 0 as the condition is false. Loop exit, and the program control will come to the fourth statement. Set A of 0 equal to item. The 0th position we can insert the new item. So the array becomes like this. So this is, and after insertion we are incrementing the total number of elements to 1, because there was only 3 elements. Now after insertion it becomes 5 elements. So that is all about algorithm of inserting an element at the beginning of an array. Let us look on to the program. Okay, so we are looking on to the program for inserting an element at the beginning of the array. Here we are reading the limit of the array. Printf enter the number of numbers. n is being read from the user, and after that elements is read using for loop for I equal to 0, I less than n I plus plus. Each element is read from the user, and after that we are simply printing the array using the same for loop for I equal to 0, I less than n I plus plus. A of I is being printed, and after that the user is asked to enter the item to be inserted. Okay, so the user, suppose the user enters an item 5, and then the algorithm is being implemented here. The loop is started from n minus 1 and it will continue up to 0, and each time what happens, the element will be shifted downwards, one step downwards. So after executing the whole loop, as we saw in the algorithm, what happens, all the elements will be moving on to the next step, one step downwards. So there will be space in the beginning for inserting a new item. We have already discussed it in the algorithm. And after the for loop, the shifting process completes, and then we can insert the item A of 0 equal to item and the number of elements incremented, and the new array is printed. Let us execute the program. Enter the number of numbers. So I am entering as 3, and the elements are given as in the algorithm 10, 20 and 30, and the array is printed, and the user is asked to enter the item. So the user is entering 5, and after executing, 5 is being inserted in the beginning of the array. Okay, that's all about insertion at the beginning. Okay, next we are going to discuss about insertion at the end. So we are planning to insert a new item to the end of an array. So what is it's a very simple process. What is to be done is that we simply insert an element to the end of the array by using the statement A of n equal to item. That means if an array containing n elements contains n elements, we know that the index always starts with 0. So the last element's index will be n minus 1. Okay, so if the array contains 3 elements, the last element's index will be 2, n minus 1. So if we want to insert a new element to the end of the array, we can insert simply as A of n. What is A of n? A of 3. A of 3 equal to item. When we say A of 3 equal to item, simply the 40 will be inserted to the end of the array. It's a simple procedure. Okay. So next we can move on to the program of insertion at the end of array. Here is the program. Here the limit is being read from the user, and after that the array elements are read using the for loop, and then the array is simply printed for I equal to 0, I less than n I plus plus. A of I is being printed, and after that the user is asked to enter the item to be inserted, and after reading the data, we are simply saying A of n equal to item, and the number of elements is incremented, and after insertion the array is being again printed. So let us execute the program. Number of elements is 3, and the elements are 10, 20 and 30, and user is asked to enter the item to be inserted. Suppose item is 40. So after insertion, 40 will be inserted at the end of the array. So next we are moving on to next algorithm, that is inserting an element to a particular position. Okay. So here there is an array containing 3 elements, and the user wants to enter a particular element at a particular position. So the position and item is to be read from the user, and what we do is that, as in the case of insertion in the beginning, here also we have to shift the elements downwards. But in the insertion at the beginning, we shifted the elements up to the 0th position because we want to insert the element at the 0th position. So the whole elements was shifted downwards to make the space at the 0th position. But here what happens, we want to insert a number at a particular position. So if the user enters the position as 3, you have to keep in mind that the index is always position minus 1. That means if the user is saying that I want to insert an element at position 2, the index he is inserting is 1. So we have to keep that point in our mind that when the position is 2, the actual insertion is being done at 1. If the position is 3, actual insertion is being done at 2. Okay, so here, as in the case of insertion at the beginning, the procedure starts from I equal to n minus 1. That is, total number of element is 3. 3 minus 1 from 2, the process starts. And 1 minute. And the loop is being evaluated as while I greater than position minus 1. Okay, so 2 is greater than, suppose the position is 1. First position, we have to insert the position at 1. So position minus 1 is 0. 2 is greater than or equal to 0. And if suppose the position is 2, we want to insert a position at an element at 2. So the position minus 1 means 1. So let us consider that the user wants to enter at position 2. Okay. So what happens here? 2 greater than or equal to 1 condition is true. Okay. So a of I plus 1, that is the value of I is now 2. So 2 plus 1, 3. A of 3 equal to A of 2. So to the third position, third element is being shifted. And I gets decremented to what I was 2 and now it becomes 1. Again condition is evaluated. 1 is greater than or equal to 1. Condition is true. A of 1 plus 1, A of 2 equal to A of 1. So to the second position, the third element will be shifted. And then I decrements to 0. 0 greater than or equal to 1. Condition is false. Loop exit. So what happens? The element at the second position is now in the third position. So there is no dangerous situation when we insert a new element to the second position, because the old element at the second position is now safe at the third position. Okay, so after while loop we say that set A of position minus 1, that is A of position is 2, 2 minus 1, 1. A of 1 equal to item. Suppose the item is 15, the 15 number will be inserted here. So this is a way of inserting an element in the required position. Okay. So after inserting, the number of element is incremented to 1. So the total number of elements become 4 here. So let us look on to the program. So here is a program for inserting an element at a particular position. As in the previous programs, we are reading the limit of the array, and after reading the limit, the number of elements are being read, and after that the array is simply printed on the screen, and then the user is asked to enter the item and position to be read. Here the only difference is that apart from the item, we have to read the position also. Okay. So both the item and position is being read from the user, and here we are implementing the algorithm, that is the loop starts from n minus 1, that is last element, to the shifting process should be continued up to the position in which the insertion has to be done. So each time the for loop is being executed, the element moves downwards one step and the process continues till the value of I is equal to the position in which the insertion is to be done. So the whole elements up to that position will be moved downwards. We have already seen it in the algorithm. And after that, A of position minus 1 equal to item. So the item is being inserted to the particular position. As the position is not the index, to get the index we are decrementing as position minus 1. So after inserting, the number of elements is being incremented and the new array is this one. We can execute the program. So enter the number of numbers 3, 10, 20, 30. Enter the item and position to be inserted. I am giving the item as 15 and position as 2. Okay, so 15 is inserted at the second position. So that is all about insertion at the end. And in this video we have discussed all the three methods like insertion at the beginning, insertion at the end, insertion at a particular position, and hope you understood the video. And if you have any suggestions or doubts, please put it in the chat box, or else if you like the video, please share, like and subscribe. Thank you.